Chapter
Interesting.
6. Secret Lair. Summer forged ahead, but the nights only seemed to grow colder. Luca walked home slowly under the pale starlight, cautious to avoid any more surprises lurking in the shadows. Reaching home, he slipped quietly into bed, half dreading what they might discover the next day.
What time is it? Rolo, what on earth is that? A ridiculous thing on your head. Oh, this? Helps me think. You're gonna need a lot more of those. Joke all you want. We'll see who's laughing when I crack this case wide open. The coast is clear? Yep, whatever she's been up to this week is keeping her busy most of the day. Very well. The game's afoot.
Luca and Beck rolled their eyes as Rollo strutted across the room.
If I were Gran, where would I hide my deepest, darkest secrets? Perhaps where you would least expect it.
Rollo flung open the cabinet with confidence.
Not the Sherlock references. It is the Sherlock references.
He
Aha!
coughed as a veil of dust hit his face.
I think it's safe to assume that anything that's dusty isn't what we're looking for. Maybe that's what she wants you to think. And again, any good detective knows not to trust their first hunch. First hunches are for suckers. Eureka! She lit a fire in order to burn the evidence. She keeps the fire going every day, Rollo. Drat, it may already be too late. Just think of the mounds of documents lost to ash. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. Can we just think for a moment? Luca, is there anywhere Gran doesn't want you to go? Yeah, closet upstairs. So maybe it stands to reason that we should check there first. No dice, it's locked. Well. Look who stands to reason now. I have no idea where the key is. If it's really important, then she probably keeps it with her. Anywhere else? She has her berry bushes. Who has ever thought, I'm gonna take this important thing and huck it in a bush? True. Anything else? Maybe something out of the ordinary? Well, she's always worried I'll break her fancy dishware in the kitchen. It doesn't matter anyways, I can't reach the
A
latch.
look of realization crept onto Luca's face. All three kids snapped to glance at each other, then sprinted in turn toward the kitchen.
All right, Rollo. This is your time to shine. Yes. You've called upon my expert detective skills. And now I shall proceed with...
Before he could finish, Luca scrambled up Rollo's back.
Hey, this is my idea of detective work. Every squad needs a good lockpick. Every good lockpick needs a sturdy head to sit on. This is beneath my standard. Stop complaining and hold still. Got it.
The three crowded around the hutch to peer in. With the glass doors opened, a perfect porcelain display gleamed in front of them. Their eyes searched for anything amiss, but the only distinct feature was its impeccability.
Well, that was anticlimactic. Yeah. I don't really know what we were expecting. Like, oh hey, let me just yank on this random teacup
Beck
and...
pulled on one of the teacups. It slanted forward with a hollow click. The entire hutch began to rustle and slide under its own power.
Seems like your Gran has been doing some remodeling. Dude, only two types of people have secret lairs. Evil masterminds and superheroes. So which one do we think she is? We're about to find out. Okay, so more of an unhinged Gear assist vibe?
Oh, wow. Yeah, this cannot be good.
I need to look around before jumping to conclusions.
What do we have here?
Barrels marked caution explosive. And jam jars? That's enough jam to feed the whole town.
What kind of incendiary jam is your gran making?
Incendiary. She wouldn't have had me walking around town delivering bombs. Right?
Obviously, only one way to find
Rollo
out.
casually spun open a lid and dipped his finger in the jam. He
Huckleberries.
smacked his lips.
A hint of brown sugar. And
Ink? What?
Rollo plunged his hand in the jar, fishing out a soggy slip of paper.
aha.
Rollo offered the slimy note to Luca and licked his fingers clean.
It's addressed to Miss Fratinel.
Grand Jam Gram?
It says, last night I used the disguise Harris provided to scout the location. The timing window should be possible. Operation Sparkplug is a go.
Oh man, are they doing a heist?
Whatever it is, it can't be good. More of a bombshell than a bomb, am I right?
You're new here, so I'll let it slide. But I'm the bad joke guy around here.
Gotta get our reps in.
A spider web of string connected photos of people from the town,
We're not asking questions about that one.
interspersed with hastily scrawled notes.
Well, she sure has kept herself busy.
Is your gran a serial killer? Because I'm starting to get a vibe.
Don't be ridiculous.
Sure, she just tracked the movements of everyone in town. Out of the kindness of her heart.
She put little symbols by some of them. Yeah, Mr. Nutcreed has a check mark. Clipboards are all inside a big circle. My moms are both on here. Both with question marks. Gus Valentine has a question mark. Harris has a question mark that's been crossed out.
Mr. Kerr has a bullseye. The killer has chosen her next victim.
We don't know what any of this means. Whatever it means is probably not good.
Luca jostled each cabinet drawer in turn. Only one was unlocked. He fingered through the filing cabinet, pausing at a bulging folder labeled Walter. For a long moment, he just stared at it.
What do you got there?
It's my dad. Looks like some of his old medical files. Your dad was a doctor?
Luca nodded and caressed the label with his thumb.
Well, are you gonna read it? Here, let me help.
Rollo swiped the folder from the drawer and began leafing through the pages. He whistled to himself, barely looking at the text.
How about you actually read some of it?
Oh, one sec. Dense documents such as this are a lot like a cheeseburger. It's best to skip straight to the middle. That's where all the meaty bits live.
Wow, I had no idea we were in the presence of a premedicine scholar in a dense documents. And cheeseburgers. By all means,
He
proceed.
stopped at a page and mimed, holding up a monocle.
Aha, here we are. Followed up examination of Terrace Wilby. Patient shows further signs of paleness and malnese. Body temperature continues to drop. He now describes soreness of muscles and joints. This is similar to the symptoms exhibited by Miss Wilby just a few days past. Still waiting on labs results from Joseph.
Rollo looked up with heightened surprise.
See? Creepy.
Yeah, that's kind of disturbing. Who's Joseph?
That's Mr. Nuncream's name.
Joseph's our uncle?
Wait,
Rollo's finger traced across the page.
there's more scribbled in the margins. Could it be contagious? Mr. Wilby claims the tap water at his home has been contaminated. Perhaps environmental? Lab results only raise more questions.
It's like he came back to this report later and made those notes.
So it might be related to something
Rollo
else.
scanned through several more pages.
Here, the writing looks shaky. I just couldn't help her. It's disease or whatever it is. Progresses so fast. And with his wife passing, Terrence's condition follows close behind. Exacerbated by the loss. Enough is enough. I need to take matters into my own hands.
Luca, staring blankly at the cabinet this whole time, spoke softly.
What does it say next?
Rollo rustled the folder, trying to loose more pages.
That's where it ends.
What? There has to be
Luca
more.
frantically shoved the remaining cabinet folders, trying to find another labeled Walter.
Luca, I think that's the only one. It's alphabetical, see? What do you mean enough is enough? How did he take matters into his own hands? This is bullshit.
Luca slammed the drawer shut. They crowded around a worn-down old map of Beacon Pines.
Cool, this looks like a treasure map.
Not every old map is a treasure map, Rollo.
Yeah, but every treasure map is an old map.
Can't fault that logic.
Look, there's even pathways drawn on it. Starts at the entrance to town, and if we follow
Rollo
it,
carefully traced the path with his finger.
it leads
He
right to
jabbed down at the end point.
Town Square.
It's the fountain in the middle of the town.
What a weird place to hide a treasure.
Rollo, that doesn't look like a treasure to me. The end of that path on the map had the same symbol as these explosives over here.
Oh, so it's not hiding treasure. A real bummer.
Rollo, what's the thing you've been excited for the past month?
The festival.
Did you just say gulp?
It feels like a gulp kind of situation.
Everyone will be gathered near the center of town.
He's gonna blow up the festival.
Not if we stop her. What was that?
Luca looked up from the map.
It was what?
Oh, I heard it too. It was the front door, which means that someone just shut the door, which means someone's upstairs.
Shh, quiet. Hit the lights.
Beck flicked off the light, and they became statues in the dark. Overhead, creaking floorboards bent under slow, deliberate steps. The kids looked up, the tilt of their necks following each footfall.
Gran, don't be evil.
Then suddenly, it stopped. Without realizing, they'd been holding their breath. All three exhaled shakily and glanced at each other. A muffled male voice broke the silence.
Not Gran. That's the grocer.
A final few footsteps reached the entrance above them, and the voice now echoed down the stairs.
Anyone down there?
The three kids shuffled to the corners without a peep. As he began to descend the stairs, the man's voice punctuated every new step. Thump.
Yoo-hoo. I'm not here to hurt anyone.
Thump.
I'm just here to help. Just
At the bottom step, the man paused, squinting to search the room for signs of life.
huh? Guess it's nothing.
Rollo shifted suddenly. Luca gave him an intense, chastising look and whispered through clenched teeth.
Rollo, don't.
It was too late. Rollo was already inching toward the stairway. He screeched as he charged toward the shadowy figure.
Flaming chicken coop!
With all his weight, Rollo tackled the man to the ground.
Rollo. Mysterious creepy man? Anyone there?
From the dark corner, they saw something move.
Oh, I don't know if I didn't know if I had it in me. But there was only one way to find out.
Holy crap, Rollo. That was awesome. Wait, did you just kill that person?
Luca scrambled to the hunched figure on the ground. Pressing his fingers to the man's neck, he sighed with relief.
You sure clobbered him good, Rollo. He's knocked out cold.
As Beck flicked back on the light, Luca and Rollo both gasped in stereo.
Mr. Tolliver.
Chapter 7. The Interrogation of Hiram Tolliver. Still unconscious, Mr. Tolliver slumped heavily in a shoddy old chair. His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string. The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan. One thing was certain, they couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go. They needed to know what he was doing in Luca's house. After some deliberation, it was decided.
They'd run the classic good cop. We got chill and hard. We don't have bad. I want to see what good cop, chill cop is.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
Under this, just gotta play cool.
Luca walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times. Mr. Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
Ollie, I sure got my bell rung.
He looked over to find Luca, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. This was all a big mistake.
Luca, what's going on here? Why do you have me strapped down?
No one's fault, really. Rollo just got a little startled.
Rollo's here?
Rollo and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Well, all right. Mistakes happen. You kids gave old Hiram a good scare. Let's just get me out of these ropes and call it even.
Luca glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's my gran up to? If you'll just cut me loose so I can show you. How do I know we can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luca, have I ever done wrong by you? No. And since your gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah. So why would I turn my back on your family now? It's just, all this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town. An archive of my dad's old disturbing patient notes.
Luca gestured to the corner.
Barrels of explosives. I can explain everything. You just need to untie me. You kids deserve an explanation.
Luca looked again to Rollo and Beck. This time they shrugged. Luca began to slowly loosen the bindings. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad. This will all make sense in time.
He edged imperceptibly toward the stairs as he spoke.
You see, this town has secrets, Luca. Very dark past indeed.
Before the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A past that must be brought
He
to
punctuated his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
light. Son of a...
Beck darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tight down there. Let the adults
They
handle
looked
this.
bewildered at each other.
Play it cool, huh? And now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation. This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luca opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end. Well, we certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement. Back to the drawing board. They'd run the classic good cop, hard cop interrogation.
Let's do this.
Rollo brandished a steely gaze. I've got this. Read about it 100 times. Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Well, Mr. Trolliver.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless. Rollo spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice.
Mr. Tolliver?
Beck and Luca gave each other an unsure glance. Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr. Tolliver.
He grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face. Mr. Tolliver groaned and slowly lifted his head.
This can only go well. This can only go horribly.
He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the
The
world?
chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
Don't be asking the question here, punk. Now hold on, let's just calm down. Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. As for you, looks like you're sweating.
The doubtful expression on Beck and Luca's faces transformed into awe.
We can do this my way. Or, well, let's just say I've never needed another way.
Rollo, hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance. What? I don't even...
Mr. Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly in tears.
You tied me down. How on earth can I dance? Dance with your mouth, punk. Spill the beans. What are you doing poking around in this house? I'm here to help Juniper. To make sure everything's ready. Oh, so you're in cahoots with Gran. Gran?
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, huh? Blow up the festival? Good
He
lord.
shook his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
No, you've got it all wrong. Where is she now? She's headed to the source. The source? What's the source? It's
His
where
voice faded to a whisper.
the town began. Where it all began. What is Operation Sparkplug?
With that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold. Rollo swung around with a repentant grimace.
Damn, Rollo. I think you went a little too hard on him. What do you say about the source? It's where the town began? We need more information. Hey, we better not push Mr. Tolliver any further. Is there anyone else who might know more? What about the History Museum? It just got set up before the festival. Nah, the tent was only put up by the Valentines. Everything they do is just a bunch of fluff to glorify themselves. Is there anything more reliable? The library. If there's any information about the source thing, Kaido can help us find it. Let's go get some answers. We just left him down there? Alright. This is a dang nice library. Thanks, we worked hard on it. Aren't you a little too adorable to be a librarian? Oh, hold on. Okay, adorable can't be used anywhere. I just had to make sure. Kaido hung out here so much, eventually they gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place for Miss Novak sometimes. You got you working for free? It's quiet, I get access to all the books I can read. What more can a person want? Fair enough. What can I do for you all? We need a favor. Already told you, Enrollo. Can't put you up any higher on the waiting list for the next Hank Atomic. If you're here for more candy, I'll have you know I can't be bought. It's called a personal code of conscience. Actually, we're looking to do some research. Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? The thing is, we sorta don't know. What do you got on the history of the town? There's the county record archives. What's in those? First deaths, newspapers, clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring read. Well, they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great, we'll start there.
Chapter 8. 6 feet under, 3 towns over. The kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records, desperately searching for anything that could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luca tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures, and a corkboard threaded with photos. Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst. But the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult. As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
If I have to read any more records, my eyeballs are gonna pop.
You have to keep digging.
If I dig into another word, I'm gonna end up one of those asinine death records. Rollo Cotter lived a full and wonderful life. He read too much boring crud and his brain oozed out of his ears.
Rollo shut his book with an assertive nod.
You got a better idea, spit it out.
You sound like my sister.
Keep pushing your luck, pal. And it won't be boring country records that kill you. I'll put you in the obituaries myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
You're a county record.
Really? That's the best you got? When I'm done with you, you'll be a footnote in history. Just like
Slammed her finger down on the open page before glancing down to read.
J. Hartford here.
I'd love to see you try.
Hey. We're a little tired here. Let's just take a minute and...
Something tickled the back of Luca's mind.
Wait, what was that name back? In the bit? J. Hartford. From the Brookville Tribune 8 years ago. That can't be right. What is it? J. Hartford. That's my grand's name. Juniper Hartford. Maybe there were two J. Hartfords? Miss Hartford is survived by our young daughter, E. Hartford. My mom's name is Eleanor. Okay, this is getting creepy. Your grand's 6 feet under, 3 towns over. And who am I living with?
The question hung in the air.
All right, gang, I gotta close up for the night.
Rubbed her eyes.
How late is it? Almost 10.
Oh crap, Pa's gonna kill me. I gotta go.
Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement? I'll think of something.
Luca's heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr. Tolliver tied up and unconscious in the basement. Dealing with him would be the first order of business. Luca shook out his arms to calm his nerves before entering.
Oh shit.
He held perfectly still, tempering his breath, and listened closely. She was asleep. His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
I did think it's weird because she doesn't even look like the same species. That's not the most abnormal thing, right? Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he woke up, escaped from his bindings, and left
Or
without a
maybe
trace.
Gran knew everything.
What do I do?
Luca's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
Okay, I can figure this out. Just need a little brain food.
Luca rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into his mouth.
I'm afraid your jam delivery will be
He
delayed.
flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nuncream. Oh, now I can think. If Gran knows we tied up Mr. Oliver, I'm screwed. If she doesn't know, then I need to play it cool. I guess the only option is to go to bed and act as if nothing is wrong. Gran will think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done. No, it's not. Gran? Okay, stick to the plan. Go to bed and play it cool. No, you don't go to bed. Go to the treehouse and sleep.
As Luca climbed the final stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him. With each consecutive step, his legs weakened.
The
His
jam.
stride began to falter.
The jam was laced.
He tried to grab for the railing to steady himself. Something was wrong.
Come on, legs. Just a few more steps.
Luca groaned and tried to move. His limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground. Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
The jam. Sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? Rest now and let me handle everything.
Chapter 9. A speech to end all speeches. Luca awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him? Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed? Shaking the questions from his woozy head, Luca snapped back to the matter at hand.
The festival. She just left it open? Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret message for secret conspirators. Not this one. The one intended for Mr. Nutcreek. Put me to sleep.
Oh, ho, ho. Sly Devil.
I think you're just trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked around, but haven't seen anything on. The Gran is nowhere to be found. But Mr. Nuncreek is just loafing around waiting for the speech. What speech? Mayor Gus got up to the podium. Everyone is gathered at the stage.
Let's get moving.
What can we do with Sly?
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
We can do Sly Cop.
Is this thing... hello, Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your mirror, and I suppose you already know that. Oh yes, before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. The town wouldn't be where it is today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause benefiting such a great man.
Even that's more than the old cocker deserved.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right, where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine,
He
everyone.
gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let us hear it for our mayor. What a great turnout. Ah, heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. What a shame to waste such a beautiful podium.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Community, convention, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at prenatal oh my. I swear, my brain has a problem. Perennial harvest. For us, those are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. What happens is my brain mixes the letters around. And I keep wanting to say pre-lennial. That's the word I want to say. Your brain has that problem with an enemy. Yeah. The problem is I can say this word. I just can't read the word when it comes up. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's oh my god, this guy is unbearable. Unavoidable and undeniable. And I am a dadgum thankful for it. Change is the reason we're all together today. And it's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town, which would change my life forever.
Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
From a second I set foot in Becon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this town, despite suffering great loss, still held on to the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment. Change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. The perennial harvest is a community first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through the foul harvest was unshakable conviction. A conviction that is better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial harvest was founded on the conviction that we are that horizon. The festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
We now walk hand in hand into a future we will shape together. A good future, a proud future, a future that might have a wall in it. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scuff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. And I am tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. I forgot to wear my turtleneck and my glasses of once famous, very famous fruit employee as I make my speech. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. We're about to deep freeze. What was that?
The crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, a little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain calm.
Mr. Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all my travels, I've learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow. We have all planted a lot of good in this town. And so it's with a happy heart that I can proclaim.
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
Our harvest awaits. Yep, deep freeze. Wait.
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched.
I don't think Gran and her trio knows exactly what's going to happen when they explode it. Because the diner lady was there. I didn't see
what's his name. I didn't see the grocery store name. So he must have been helping Gran. But I don't think they intended for it to deep freeze.
For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end. On a stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end. There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything! Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again! No, I don't mean that. We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again.
Who is the author?
Please.
Do we have any other choices? It's just Sly Cop, right? Yeah.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation. Luca and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task. With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
What? What's going on here? You're that Modewell girl. Please call me Beck. Sorry about all
Mr.
this.
Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
It seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was going to be easy.
You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess she thought you needed some backup. But she sent a child? A better way to avoid prying eyes. Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you understand. We never know who to trust in this town.
Mr. Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out we're both here
Beck
to
twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
destroy the evidence.
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old gal is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her, though. Anyone were to find out that we were going to destroy the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up down here.
Beck was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
You sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good. There's one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing, really. The other day I had the radio on scan while restocking the candy shelf. And wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an old phrase in the perennial... See? I was saying it fine. Perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. It might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. She said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. We have a password, but nowhere to put it? Gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work that out. I've got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that?
Sure did. The whole time Mr. Tolliver had a candy shelf. But he only ever sells us apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password, Rollo.
Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf.
Fine, in the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it seems.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
You just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried, covered. Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies. So you would be 21. N would be 14. D would be... Oh, it's an anagram. Nuncreed's drugstore.
Luca and Beck looked at Rollo with amazement.
Rollo, that was incredible.
Well, it's either that or Kren's new drug store.
Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How'd you do that?
What can I say? I love ciphers.
Well, I guess we know where to go next.
We better go to Nuncreed's.
Oh, I wanted to talk to Dad first. Oh, shit. You scared me half to death. Sorry. You kids haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around, have you? Nope. He's got me waiting around like the last slice of pie. I swear, that man would be late to his own funeral. You're late, Augustus.
Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work.
Work? You?
I had a few more details to lock down for the festival.
Oh, what do you have to report? What is the Intepid Town Festival really about?
I think
Gus looked around nervously.
Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for this town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him.
I didn't pull strings installing you installing you as a mayor so that you can make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town. Excuse me?
This was our father's town. He's gone, Harris, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help.
We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground.
It was just a temporary agreement.
The glow can be seen from the damn backyard. What are they? They are dumping their nasty little secrets on us. This all inevitably goes wrong. Who do you think will be blamed?
Harris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. The town is going to change whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be a part of the future or be forgotten in the past?
It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always just be a Gus.
Good night, Harris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow.
It's getting late, children. You got any, knowledge? He spat with a sneer. There existed a gulf between knowing something and being able to do a damn thing about it. I do hate it when the villain makes a good point. Let's go to the drugstore. Solomon's there.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nuncring. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. Then where'd you get the candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Though we might not always have family to rely on. Licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice. But whatever floats your boat.
Thank you for the stream. I'll leave a lurk. No worries. I have a feeling we're wrapping up here soon. I have work in a couple hours.
You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of confection. Oh yeah, I guess.
I like sour gobs.
I'm certain you do. I've always wondered why Mr. Nuncream kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold hard cash. Well, he's right, it's locked.
There's gotta be more clues.
Okay, let's see.
We know it's the phone booth, right?
Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing?
Besides Mr. Nuncream? No.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
This is not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Would there be a blinky keypad?
Kren's nude rug store. I mean, underground secrets. The password.
Beck flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
All right, let's see here.
Luca cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground secrets. Sounds like that did something.
Great, now what?
I guess we...
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground. The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
I knew it.
You knew there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth?
Of course I did. Didn't I say that?
No.
I definitely thought it. Luca, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the trans-dimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue 12 were real?
Rolo, at one point or another, you've said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic.
That's why I'm such a good predictor.
Looks like each of these have something written on them. The suit has a broken mask. So we found our mysterious warehouse creeper. We've at least found their shit suit.
It walks like a Nuncream and talks like a Nuncream.
Let's not jump to conclusion.
Just saying.
Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here?
Not that I know of.
This town is all farms and fertilizer. And a series of tubes.
Always says you can only trust a miner up to the point where they hit gold.
Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation.
That's the thing about Pa, you don't always realize what he means until it's too late.
Perennial Harvest main office. That's where my mom works.
What does she do?
Science stuff. She involved in all this? We just moved here. How could she be involved?
True.
Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where he almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube go into the old Valentine place?
Starting to feel like something big.
There's a lot of buttons.
Stand aside, Earthling. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi's tech.
Rollo's hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny.
Rolo, what did you do?
Nothing. I didn't even move yet. What was that?
Hide.
Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here.
Just get back. Shit. Shit. Shit.
Awesome.
Y'all need to come with me now. We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers, Mr. Underground Secrets. Told the most absurd password. They love everything that makes them feel clever. They who? That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I'd be able to save your skins. We don't care about our skins.
Hold on, I like my skin.
This all stops now, Nun Creed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him.
Who?
Walt.
You don't get to talk about my dad.
You know, your father and I were friends back
He
before.
gestured toward the strange tubes.
All of this.
That's a lie.
It's true, I used to bounce you on my knee. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. But you were his sidekick? No. We were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yep, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. As he's got an opportunity. He's found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it.
My dad said no.
Your father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick into villain plotline. Walt loved being righteous, almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, they'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes.
Is there a point to this sob story?
Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. Tried to keep you and Juniper out of this. But you forced my hand.
Luca began to laugh.
What?
You really don't know. My gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose.
Juniper?
It seems like she planned on crashing the town's party.
She's gonna disrupt the festival? Why would she?
Color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know?
Apparently she knows a lot of things.
What?
Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we busted into today. And honestly, hers is way cooler.
She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's gonna do right now. She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with. Tell me now, she's in danger, boy.
I don't know. Got a map with a mark on the fountain in town square.
The fountain, but why
A
would...
jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source.
What the heck is the source?
If she tries to destroy the source, it could catalyze and... Dear God, she's gonna freeze us all.
You all need to run. Run where?
Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back.
That did not go how I expected. So, we're totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. You good? Yep. I love this town.